Hello and welcome back to December Daily Day 23. Today, I wanted to kind of just play a little bit with the spread. I think I'm at that place where I'm reaching kind of like an idea saturation where I've iterated for 22 different spreads previously. So I just wanted to give the page a color, and just put in like a random gray, which I am then going to kind of mix in with some other shades. And then I'm just going to put the polaroids on top because I think this is one of those days where I wanted like a quick thing to do. I took some pictures today while I was out having lunch with a couple of friends in my old neighborhood. And it's so nostalgic because I lived there pre-pandemic. Basically, it was my first ever flat that I lived in for my very first job right after I graduated university. So there was a lot of adulting, a lot of like growing pains that happened in that neighborhood. I just remember it was a neighborhood called Sai Ying Pun, and it happened to be quite close to the central business district of Hong Kong. So I used to walk there quite a lot for work, to and from gathering with friends, dinner, drinks, networking events, and the whole shebang. And because that was my first year of working, I was out networking basically every week or drinking every week. Like it was just one of those times where it was my first job. So I just wanted to be as out, live in the city, like in the heart of the city as frequently as possible. So I did a lot of that and I was around that neighborhood a lot. So it meant something special to me that I was there. This neighborhood is kind of out of the way. So I did bring my Polaroid because I knew that I wouldn't be coming back to visit this neighborhood quite often, and therefore I wanted to snap pictures of it to record it in my December daily. Moving on to what you see currently on the spread is I'm busting out this fancy new ink pad. It's called the Sachihata Irodori, I believe, ink pad. And this is actually a recommendation from my friend Job's Journal, as well as Ohio Joy and Mark's Mellow. I was talking to them on Job's stream, I believe on Monday. Well, Sunday Job's time, Monday my time, 19th of December. And I told them that I got a bunch of stamps with a clear acrylic block from MU Lifestyle, but I was silly, and because it was part of a Christmas package, I didn't think about it. But there was no ink pad, and they all recommended that I get this Sachihata ink pad. They recommended me to get the little mini ones, which are shaped like little tiny squares. But for some reason, in my local stationery store, which I'll have their like green sticker that I save on the side and I will put on the spread later on. For some reason, they didn't have the mini ones. They only had like the big ones, and they had this kind of like kaleidoscope looking like ink pad. So I decided that I would just do that instead, and I would just get this, especially when I am just trying it out for the very first time. I believe like 2 big ink pads is more expensive than this tiny one with all these different stuff. I didn't think this through. Stamping with this for the specific colors is really heckin' hard, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna smear and ruin this ink pad. But it is a art and craft supply, and I'm going to use it as such. And I'm also like trying to figure out how do I clean it. Do I just like wipe the stamp off with like tissue? Do I need the tissue to be wet? I have no clue. At the moment, I just use like a dry tissue paper and I'm just hoping for the best. And I also don't know how to store it. So currently I'm just like putting it back in its main packaging and hoping that that will suffice. The instructions from Mu Lifestyle said that I was supposed to like peel the protective layer of the acrylic block, which didn't have it. And it's both from Mu Lifestyle, so I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I will just see where it goes, and in the meantime I will protect my stuff as is. So yeah, I'm a bit impatient, so I thought that by watercoloring in the beginning that it would be dry already by now by the time that I have to stick on some stuff. But turns out it's not super dry, but I didn't really mind. I just wanted to start sticking stuff on anyway. It feels a little bit wrong to glue Polaroids onto a page, but I know that, I did get this for memory making and scrapbooking, so I should totally just do it. Here I am using a couple of their textured papers that they provided in their Christmas set, and using these Elmer glues actually makes the edge curl up a little bit. But I'm guessing that's just the glue interacting with the very thin paper. I guess this is kind of what happens every time you take textured paper, is that you never really know how it's going to react with your material. So I think it's important to not be a super perfectionist. Like for example, if I were super fixated on that paper being like completely flat and straight, then I might have a bit of a hard time adjusting to the fact that it's actually not straight. At least now I get to love like the wrinkles and the buckling of it. I'm just really enjoying the natural texture that comes out of this page. And it's getting really hard to fold this insert down. It's getting super chunky. I think like in the beginning when I was just like painting, it didn't really seem that thick, but now every time I open it I really need to like paper clip it down to the sides and also the top, because otherwise it just does not stay flat. Anyways, now I'm just journaling on what happened during that day, which is the lunch and all the old neighborhood stuff that I mentioned earlier, and I think that's going to be a wrap. Oh, I forgot to mention, so the 3 polaroids on the right hand side, like 5 didn't fit on the page, maximum 4 did. So I decided I would just create a little pocket for me to slip in the polaroids on the side. Ideally, they would have puffed out a little bit, but I didn't really measure, and since all of them just fit in, that's gonna be it. Alright, well, I'll catch you guys tomorrow during Christmas Eve. And in the meantime, if you're doing December daily, let me know how you're doing. I'm actually quite surprised that I've managed to keep it up for this long, but we're gonna keep going. And I think at this point, we just gotta finish through. Like, we can't do it occasionally and not finish at 25, right? Alright, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye!